replied calmly, assuring her that from now on, they were indeed rich. His grandmother and sister were overjoyed by the news, dancing and celebrating together inside the house with visible happiness. Seo Dojun watched them celebrating, but deep inside he felt a sense of unease. Remembering the request made by the other Seo Dojun that his family live in a completely safe place. He had wished for his family's eternal safety, but the entity vanished before it could answer that request. Then, he recalled the moment when he first woke up to discover that he had become Seo Dojun after once being someone else in a ruined world. Seo Dojun thought about how the safest home in Korea costs around 110 billion won at current market prices. He considered that he wasn't obligated to fulfill a one-sided promise, yet he remained determined to achieve his goal. He told himself confidently that once he regained his full strength, that huge amount of money would be nothing to him. Seo Dojun then remembered that everything in this world, from gates and rifts to monsters, was far weaker than what he had faced in his previous destroyed world. Horrifying monsters he had fought before appeared in his mind, and he noted that his current strength hadn't even reached 10% of what it once was. At that moment, his thoughts were interrupted by the sound of a loud, violent knock on the door, followed by a voice calling out loudly, asking for Seo Dojun. Seo Dojun calmly told his grandmother to stay inside with his sister and decided to go out and confront whoever was at the door. He stepped outside to find two large men waiting for him at the doorstep, their aggression and hostility immediately apparent. The two men demanded that Seo Dojun repay the money he had borrowed previously, stating that the amount owed was very large, up to 45 million won. Seo Dojun instantly realized these were debt collectors the real Seo Dojun had once borrowed money from to pay for his grandmother's hospital bills, and that the amount had now grown significantly. The men aggressively insisted that he hand over all the money he had recently earned from the gate, as per the contract between them. As the two tried to force him to pay, Seo Dojun landed an incredibly powerful punch on one of them with surprising speed. The other man was stunned by Seo Dojun's unexpected speed and power. Visibly shaken by the sudden attack, Seo Dojun approached the second man menacingly, stating that he had already paid over 9 million won, and in fact, he should be the one asking for his money back. The man backed away in fear, asking in shock and disbelief whether he was really the same Seo Dojun he used to know. Seo Dojun didn't answer his question. Instead, he gave him one final firm warning and told him in a clearly threatening tone to inform his boss that he would be visiting him soon. In a bustling shopping mall filled with people moving between various stores, a large display of plush toys suddenly appears on the shelves of a retail shop, arranged in an attractive manner. The young girl, On-young, gazes at the toys with excitement and joy, wondering to herself if she can really buy a new doll. Seo Dojun smiles gently at his little sister, assuring her that he already bought her new clothes and that she can now get anything she wants. Seo Dojun starts reflecting on his emotions, realizing that the mixed memories he shares with the original Seo Dojun have influenced his previously dull and numb feelings. He continues watching his little sister, On-young, and thinks that what he feels might just be sympathy. Still, he admits that the original Seo Dojun was truly kind to his half-sister, On-young. On-young remains standing excitedly in front of the toys, unable to easily choose one. At that moment, Seo Dojun silently vows to at least protect the heart of the original Seo Dojun, who loved his little sister deeply. On-young finally picks out a small toy and asks Seo Dojun if she can have it. When she holds up the little doll to show him, Seo Dojun reaches out and instead selects a large, beautiful plush toy for her. He reminds her once more that he told her to buy whatever she wants without hesitation. On-young smiles brightly, full of gratitude for her brother. After shopping, the two sit together in a restaurant to eat, with a variety of delicious dishes laid out on the table. While eating, Seo Dojun suddenly hears a girl's voice from behind him, surprised and asking if the person sitting in front of her is really Seo Dojun. He turns toward the voice and sees a well-dressed girl accompanied by a group of large-bodied bodyguards. The girl begins mocking Seo Dojun's appearance, saying he doesn't look any better than before, then asks dismissively about the little girl with him. Seo Dojun glares at her sharply, while she mocks him further, asking if On-young is as much trouble as her mother once was. The atmosphere grows increasingly tense due to her words, and Seo Dojun and his sister sit silently as the girl approaches their table with her guards. On-young, confused, quietly wonders who the girl bothering them is, while Seo Dojun remains silent and visibly angry. The girl gives a sly smile and continues taunting and mocking them without pause, while On-young innocently stares at her, not understanding the reason behind the sudden hostility. The girl asks On-young for her name, and On-young simply replies, On-young. The girl begins mocking On-young and her family, especially ridiculing her simple clothes, comparing her to her mother, and calling them both pitiful. She turns to Seo Do-jun and, with a provocative tone, asks if she's right in what she's saying. But he remains silent and furious, refusing to answer. The girl grows visibly angry at being ignored and not getting a reaction to her taunts. Then she turns back to Eun-young and, in a clearly threatening tone, calls her an annoying little brat. The arrogant girl continues provoking Seo Do-jun, sarcastically asking Eun-young if she knows the meaning of the word vagrant. Seo Do-jun looks at her with utter coldness, then sharply retorts, calling her as ugly as an orc. The girl is utterly shocked by this unexpected response, staring at him in disbelief. She replies in a stunned, hesitant voice, asking if she really heard him correctly. Seo Do-jun keeps glaring at her with fierce, angry eyes. Seo Do-jun recalls the harsh past of the real Seo Do-jun, who was born into severe poverty. After his mother died when he was 7, he was forced to move in with his biological father. But his life never improved, as he suffered for more than 10 years from discrimination and neglect at the hands of his father's legal wife and her son, becoming completely ostracized in the household. He was eventually kicked out again and went to live with his maternal grandmother and his half-sister Eun-young, whom he had never met before. Seo Do-jun feels deep sadness and wonders how the original Seo Do-jun endured all this injustice and cruelty in silence. Then he makes a firm decision that from now on, everything will be different. Seo Do-jun turns toward the arrogant girl with confident, challenging eyes and tells her that he lived with her for 12 years, and yet she still disgusts him. He sharply calls her hopeless, from her features to her awful personality and foolish mind. He continues harshly, saying that she's always jealous of girls who are prettier and kinder than her, and that she clings to a deep inferiority complex. He adds that she's never any better than Eun-young, who truly and honestly cares about her brother's financial situation. The girl looks at him in anger, her face clearly showing the shock of his biting insult. She screams furiously, demanding to know what he just said. Suddenly everyone hears a woman's calm voice saying, "Do-jun, it's been a long time." A sophisticated, elegant woman approaches them, her confidence and strength immediately apparent. The girl is stunned when she sees her, crying out, "Mom!" and rushing over to her, complaining tearfully about what Seo Do-jun said to her. But the mother responds harshly, telling her to be quiet and to stop behaving in such an inappropriate way. Ignoring her daughter's actions, the mother turns to Seo Do-jun with a seemingly gentle tone, asking if he's all right. As Seo Do-jun leaves, the mother chides him in a voice that sounds sympathetic, saying that even if he's busy, he should still visit the house from time to time. Inside, Seo Do-jun is filled with anger, thinking about the hypocrisy of this woman who hurt him the most for 12 years. The mother continues provoking him, claiming that his father worries about him a lot, and expressing her disgust in an obviously insincere way. Seo Do-jun turns to her with a furious glare and tells her bluntly that their relationship is not the kind that allows her to ask about him or interfere in his life. Then he sharply tells her to get out of his sight immediately. The woman feels deeply insulted and humiliated in front of everyone by Seo Do-jun's firm and powerful response. She leaves, overcome with anger and embarrassment, while her daughter stands behind her, stunned by this sharp and humiliating confrontation. As the woman walked away angrily, she wondered to herself if this person was really the Seo Do-jun she used to know, the one who would always lower his head even when beaten for no reason. Her daughter hurried after her, calling out and asking her to wait for a moment. Meanwhile, Seo Do-jun quietly turned to his sister, Eun-young, and told her it was time to leave, and she immediately agreed. Seo Do-jun thought confidently to himself, declaring internally that the Seo Do-jun who used to remain silent and endure abuse was completely gone, warning his enemies that it was in their best interest to realize that quickly. The car carrying the woman, her daughter, and the guards sped away from the scene. Inside the car, the girl started yelling in anger, demanding to know why they left like that and insisting that Seo Do-jun be punished for what he had done. The girl continued to complain loudly to her mother, angrily asking if she knew what Seo Do-jun had said to her, but the mother ignored her and coldly addressed one of her guards, saying, "Chief Lee." The mother turned to the guard and sharply asked why Seo Do-jun was still alive. Guard Lee nervously replied that the report stated Kang Cheol-woo had already left Seo Do-jun in the rift zone. The mother screamed in furious rage, saying that Seo Do-jun was supposed to be dead and wondering how he could still be alive. Guard Lee immediately apologized and promised to investigate the matter again. The girl was shocked by what she heard and began questioning her mother about what she meant by saying Seo Do-jun should be dead. But the mother gave no reply and remained silent, ignoring her daughter's question. The girl was left stunned and screamed at her mother in disbelief. "Did you really try to kill Seo Do-jun?" Then, completely shocked, she continued, her voice filled with anger and jealousy, asking if her mother still had feelings for Seo Do-jun. The mother exploded in fury, grabbing her daughter's face and shouting vehemently that she had absolutely no feelings for him, warning her that neither her grandfather nor her father must ever find out about this. She threatened her daughter violently and warned her not to interfere again, making it clear that this matter concerned her alone and she would handle it herself. The daughter was terrified and left speechless. Internally, the mother continued to seethe with rage, vowing to herself that Seo Do-jun dared to challenge her, even though he was just a worthless, illegitimate child. She decided that she would make him disappear at any cost. The story flashes back to 10 years ago, when rift zones first appeared. These zones caused dangerous monsters to emerge, attacking and mercilessly killing people. The world fell into extreme chaos as a result of these events. However, the situation gradually began to stabilize with the emergence of heroes who were able to fight back against the monsters. From the monsters, people obtained magical stones called mana stones, which became the world's new source of energy. After that, nations started transforming these dangerous rift zones into organized gates. Now the entire world revolves around gates and heroes, with the whole industry centered on these gates. Elsewhere, Seo Do-jun realized that the only way to make money in this world was to become a hero. Seo Do-jun arrives at a building called Yongdyungpo, which serves as the headquarters of HC Finance Company. In that place, which looks like an old building, a man is standing smoking a cigarette while watching the situation with anticipation. Seo Do-jun enters the building, surprising the smoking man and his companions with the presence of a stranger. The man asks him sternly who he is, then adds angrily if he really dares to show up here after having messed with his men before. Seo Do-jun responds with complete calm, saying that the more he thinks about it, the more he realizes he suffered a significant loss. The man is puzzled by Seo Do-jun's words and asks him what he means by loss. Seo Do-jun continues, explaining coldly that he deserves substantial compensation for the material and moral damages he has suffered. The man with glasses stares at Seo Do-jun, thinking to himself that Seo Do-jun's personality has changed a lot since entering the gate. The man also concludes that Seo Do-jun must have awakened his power inside the gate. He steps toward Seo Do-jun, threatening him and saying he knows very well what happens to people who become arrogant after awakening in the gates. Suddenly, other men approach and surround Seo Do-jun, clearly threatening him. The main man stands up and moves closer to Seo Do-jun in an aggressive manner. The man angrily explains that he has seen many people become D-rank heroes, and that they were all arrogant, but in the end, they were nothing but trash. He also asserts that he has plenty of D-rank heroes who don't even allow anyone to speak to them. Seo Do-jun remains silent, ignoring all the threats he hears. But the main man angrily orders him to sit down, thinking he has ended the conversation. Seo Do-jun firmly replies that he hasn't finished talking yet. The man becomes extremely angry at Seo Do-jun's manner of response and tries to attack him suddenly. But the man is utterly shocked when he discovers that Seo Do-jun has moved at incredible speed. Seo Do-jun delivers a powerful headbutt to the man, making him collapse instantly. After that, Seo Do-jun continues attacking the rest of the men who had surrounded him with extreme ease, landing crushing blows that send them to the ground quickly. During the fight, Seo Do-jun tells them that he knows very well their business isn't limited to just usurious lending. He then adds, while continuing the fight, that he's also aware they forge identities. Seo Do-jun clarifies that if he wants to start making money, he needs an official hero ID card. Seo Do-jun continues fighting non-stop, effortlessly and skillfully dodging the men's attacks. Then he stands among the defeated men lying on the ground, and coldly demands that the main man provide him with a genuine hero ID card without any errors or issues. He adds in a firm tone that it must be ready by tomorrow. The main man feels intense fear, thinking to himself that Seo Do-jun might not be just a D-rank hero, but possibly B-rank or higher. As Seo Do-jun continues speaking to the man he knocked to the ground, he demands a clear answer to his question.